Subscribe and click the notification bell to stay updated with the latest videos from School of Technology, Management and Engineering, NMIMS Indore.
It's not that we use technology, we live technology. A very warm afternoon to all the dignitaries on DICE, Associate Dean STME, and our enthusiastic audience. I, Preet Sadhwani, take immense pleasure in extending a very warm greeting on behalf of NMIMS School of Technology, Management and Engineering family Indore. Allow me to welcome you all to the third season of Sunday Tech Series. To make the best use of technology amidst lockdown, the students of NMIMS Indore came up with the concept of Sunday Tech Series in the month of June 2020. The series consisted of webinars conducted every Sunday on different tech-related topics and programming languages. These webinars were open to students interested in building their career in IT, management, etc. from class 10 to 12th as well as first and second year college students. We are here today to start off the third season of Sunday Tech series, inspired by the enormous success of the prior two seasons, which drew over 1,000 participants from all around the world. Before we move ahead, I would like to explain the flow of the event. At the beginning, we will have a Q&A session with Mr. Rehan Khan, our industry expert for today. Following this will be the much anticipated webinar on Introduction to Machine Learning. Attendees are requested to keep in mind that after the session, a feedback link will be shared in the chat box. Everyone is requested to fill it, as certificates will be provided on the basis of submission of those forms only. Moving on, I would like to welcome Mr. Rehan Khan, who is currently working as a machine learning engineer at Sony. Sir completed his BTech from Ambedkar Institute of Advanced Communication Technology and Research, New Delhi in 2020. He is passionate about deep learning in image video detection, recognition and classification, chatbot development, and machine learning algorithms. His skills include machine learning, artificial intelligence, data analysis, data visualization, image processing, and many more. We feel privileged to have you today with us, sir. I would now like to request Ishita Mandlik and Ishita Kale for further proceedings.
Good afternoon, everyone. Machine learning is one of the best career choices of 21st century. It has plenty of job opportunities with a high-paying salary. Also, the future scope of machine learning is on its way to make a drastic change in the world of automation. Further, there is a wide scope of machine learning in India. A very warm welcome to the first session of Sunday Tech Series Season 3. We would like to thank you for joining in today's question answer session. We will get to know your views and valuable opinions on important questions commonly asked by students.
Firstly, we would like to ask, how are you, sir?
Hello, everyone. So it's like, thank you everyone who has just participated in this webinar for the QA round. I'm really good. I'm really doing good. So hope so this particular webinar will be, I will give my best by asking whatever you are going to ask me the QA round for that. So yeah.
That's great to hear, sir. So without any further ado, shall we start with the question answer session?
That's sure.
Also, in the meanwhile, you guys can put your questions in the chat box.
Sir, you have been working around as a machine learning engineer in Sony for quite some time. We would love to know more about your role there. If you could share anything about your ongoing projects.
So first of all, I'm really happy to present myself as a machine learning engineer from the Sony. So I would like to thank everyone who had participated in this webinar. So I'm just working as an ML developer in the Sony company. So my mainly work is on the R&D sector. That is basically on research and development sector related to the machine learning and deep learning sector. So currently if I'm just going to explain you about my projects, what type of project I'm going to work on the Sony for different type of ML, where we have to apply ML algorithm, deep learning algorithm, and how we are just optimizing these things and how we are just setting this all thing into real world. So first of all, I'm just working on two projects on the ML. The first project, the one is I'm working on, that's related to the AI super resolution using CNN and this all stuff GAN. And the second project, I'm just working on Nabla. So if you have heard about the Nabla, that is the similar way of deep learning framework that's related to the whether it is a PyTorch or whether it is a TensorFlow. So first of all, I will explain you about the AI super resolution. I'm not going too much depth in this particular project, but I will just explain you in the layman terms. So hope so you will understand that one. So already I have just developed the four model. I have just on related to the AI super resolution using a particular deep learning machine learning algorithm in that. So in this particular AI resolution, we have just developed the model that can upscale our images and our videos into a 4 times. Is related to that. We already know that Sony in from the long time, they are just going to you can just say about the developing the movies or casting the movies, and they are also giving the sounds in the particular movies, you can just say. But whenever it was in the 1916 and 1970s, so there was no colorful image, or the resolution of the camera was not really good, the quality was not really good. But similar kind of black and white or something, the low resolution videos you want to cast now in the Sony Bravia. So that is really difficult because that is a 4K super resolution, but you want to cast something 480p videos. That sector I'm just working on now, so that particular I can just upscale that particular low quality videos and all the images using deep learning machine learning algorithm, and that can really, or that can cast in particular any 4K resolution TV. It can be related to the Sony Bravia or any other such kind of LED. And this mainly, if also we are just working on the particular projects where if you have any something that's black and white image, you can just say, and you want to fit something color on that. So because already we know that we can nowadays, it's possible if your videos are in the black and white, you can say much before that we can also upscale our videos to a some resolution that's 4 times what we expect, and also we can just add the colors on that particular video. So this is one of the project I'm just working on, and the second project I'm just side by side I'm just working on, that is in Nabla. So we already know that deep learning is basically is depends upon what particular deep learning framework we are going to use, whether you are going to use for the that is a TensorFlow or whether you are going to use for the PyTorch. So Sony, they are just going to develop one type of deep learning framework, because the TensorFlow and the PyTorch already developed by the Google and Facebook. Now they want to Sony, they are just developing one type of deep learning framework, they are called Nabla. So in that there are various kind of object detection, object tracking, image classification. If you are related to the sound like Alexa and this all thing, they are built using the NLP concept. So this all thing I was going to implement on the Nabla. So these two currently project I'm just working on. That's I can just say.
So can you also tell us about any of the technologies that you have currently been using in all these projects?
Mhm. So see, the technology is basically, see, AI is a whole the technology. It's like if you are just going to see about most of them, they are going to confuse between the what's the machine learning algorithm and what the deep learning technology they are going to use. So indirectly, deep learning and machine learning is a subset of AI. So the now I'm just working on the technology is basically related to the all the thing deep learning. So I'm just working on GAN. That is a GAN is SR GAN. You can just say generative adversarial network. That is much powerful network that can even generate that type of person which is even not exist entire the world. You can just say. So it will be go much toward depth. I'm not going to. I will explain you much in the layman terms. So that technology I'm going to use in for the AI ML, basically the I'm working on nowadays, like using the PyTorch deep learning model to train the model to optimize that particular model. So because already we know that deep learning is working same as it is our how our human brains in the neurons works. Because you can if you are just going in like if you are going with the AI stuffs, already they have been implemented 90s, 1980s or 1990s, but something there was no anything resource to implement that one. So to nowadays we have much resource, we have high power GPUs and this all thing to train our model. We have lakhs of data set to train our models. This all thing are available in our nowadays. So it's really easy for us to train the deep learning model because the various type of technology we are going to use on that. Mainly, if you are an ML engineer, so it's basically you should know everything that's related to the Python, what's how the Python core of the Python, and how you are going to analyze the images, videos, or audios. It can be anything. It depends upon your project, and how we are just moving to the deep learning, how you are just creating, how you're working with the CNN, that is a convolution neural network, that's related to the computer vision sector. So basically deep learning is two type of main sector we are going to work, whether it's related to the computer vision or whether it is related to the audio sector. It depends upon the project, and even the combination of both also nowadays is working on. So currently mainly I'm just focusing on the computer vision sector, because Sony, they are going to more towards, for me they are just taking more towards for the computer vision sector, where I'm just working on computer vision technology for creating the model, to deploy that model, and also to just produce that model to so that it can be used in real time. So this type of things we are going to work with the ML and DL.
The projects you mentioned sounds very fascinating and knowledgeable. Our next question for you is, could you please give a spotlight on the future opportunities in the machine learning field?
See, about the future, if you are going to compare with the any sorts of jobs, like if you are just compared with the AI, in the last 4 years, nowadays the AI is really demands this high peak as compared to any other IT job, you can just say. But whenever you are just going to compare from the last 4 year and data, and now you are just going to compare the data of ML engineer or deep learning engineer, okay, so you will find a really high peak, really high jump in the graph, because nowadays everything, every technology, if it is related to the IT sector, they want to integrate everything into AI. They want everything that goes for the AI, because AI is basically it works like our human brains works. It's basically our human brains has millions of neurons. In there also, in the deep learning, we are just defining the neurons. On the basic of every neuron will have different function. So this is how basically the demand of AI is using nowadays really high for the every projects. Whether it's related to the, if you are just going to for the medical sector, or if you are going for the agricultural sector or automobiles, everywhere you are going to find the AI. So it is really high boom in the AI. Even if you are going to compare the job or a job opportunity or anything in the machine as a machine learning engineer, or as a data scientist, you will find is lakhs of opening job nowadays also in India. Because more if you, even if you can just see many college, they have started the new branch. You can, there is a computer science branch, side by side they have started AI branch. So in the last 4 year and 5 year only, there is a huge jump in the that is the AI sector in the India, I can just say, because it's really new technology. Even you don't know what is going to happen in 2030, 2050, because everything is increasing very fast by the AI. Because it is possible only because of we have the lacks of data set, we have the resource to implement, we have high power GPUs, everything is there. So that's why the our job opportunity for the machine learning is really high as compared to, for my expectation I can say, as compared to other sector, because every technology they want to integrate with the AI. That's what I can just say from my side.
I hope this would have given more clarity to the audience who are planning a future in this field. Okay, let's move ahead to our next question. According to you, what more applications can be developed using machine learning?
See, actually, that is a see the technology. It's already, it has been implemented in many sector already. I said about whether it's related to the medical field or whether it's related to the agricultural field or automobile field. So even everywhere there is research going on. Even nowadays, if you are going to heard about with the help of you can say they are just developing one type of AI algorithm, so that can, with the help of voice, they can able to detect whether that particular person is suffering from COVID or not COVID. This all the research is going on. Even for me, if I will get a chance, like if I am going to do some my own project, so I will go for the medical projects. Like we can just develop some type of AI algorithm that can able to track the particular patients, whether that particular patient the last whole data in the whole lifetime, from which particular health disease he was suffering, he or she was suffering from that, or all the thing detail it must be captured by the AI. And if it can be also AI will give you the suggestion whether that particular person should go to the which particular, if it is particular suffering from the cancer or brain tumor. So how can we can we can just cure of this all thing disease. So all the thing is related from my side, I can just say. So we can just develop one type of AI bot so that can track everything from for the what type of patient we have, all the diseases that particular patient is suffering from, and from that AI can give the response. You have to go with this particular, if you have like high cholesterol or is something else, then you might get a chance to get a heart attack. So this all thing warning, it can be displayed before if it is much too late, because nowadays in India, if someone suffer, then after they are going to be really serious about their health. But why not something we have an AI algorithm that can just predict the future, what is going to happen with you. You should be really you should be really serious about your healthcare and these things. So this is what I can just from my side, I was just thinking I can just jump off.
Sir, I am sure many of us are also curious to know how did you develop your interest in machine learning?
See, it is basically during the college time, my interest was related to the AI and machine learning. So, starting from the machine learning, I just started with the Python. So during the third year, already we have second year, third year, we have the Python language. But during my college time, there was nothing AI and nothing stuff like this. But whenever I was really good in the Python, so after the Python, you have to either go with the Python developer or APIs developer or something. You have to choose the field so that you can grow your career. So at the time, I just heard about the AI. AI was really high technology in the other, you can just say USA, but it was not in the India at the time. Means the booming part was not there. It was like 20 or 30% job was there as compared to the now. So my interest was really high whenever I just saw some projects like I just saw the research is going on like self-driving car. It was going on like self-driving car. It was not implemented at the time. Self-driving car, you can just say, or something, even a small project, it was really interesting. If you are really beginner and if you want to do even the face mask detection, it will be really good. Means it will be really develop your interest. So I just find really interesting. I just done some project like sport activity recognition, face mask detection. This was really small project for the to go for the any fresher job or anything. So it's like it was really interesting for me. Like you are just seeing something you're developing, but you're side by side you're seeing you can just help to the society or everything. Like if you are going for the face mask detection, it can be really helpful. This all thing. So like object detection, object tracking nowadays, even in the helmet, if someone is having the accident, automatic in the back end, it is going to be SOS, and this all things service is available in that. So there are many technology was there at that time. Also like the research was going on. So my interest was really high because I was, if you are really good in the Python, you can, from my side, I can go with the data analysis, and then after further machine learning and then deep learning, it will be cover whole AI. This is how I just started with the particular interest, because this is basically I can just say from my side.
I can totally agree with you, sir. Next question we have is from Vedika Ranka. She would like to know what are some basic tools one needs to excel in the field of machine learning.
See, basically the tools we can just say about the machine learning is basically whenever you want to start a career as a ML engineer, simple, then you are just really good with the Python. You have to really good with the one of the language, but mainly you can just say Python we are just using for the AI or deep learning or machine learning. But side by side, if you want to develop a tool, like if you want to develop something really good with the ML or DL or AI, you want to build a career on really high demand. So after the Python, you can just start with the data analysis, where you will have some tools like like Power BI, Tableau. They are basically the small tools to analyze the data. You have to also expert with the Excel tool. You have to be really good with that. So these are all the field that's related to the data analysis. Then you have to move to the machine learning part. So in the machine learning part, you have to just really good with the all the 10 to 12 algorithm. Then after you can just finally jump to the deep learning part, where you will find ANN, CNN, RNN, and many sector parts. So sorry. This is basically we can just go on the flow. I can just explain you. Even I will share you in the last PDF about that one, that how we can just you can start your from the Python to the NLP part, because this is the whole things you can just follow. Because from my side, I can just give you that you have to be really good with the Python, you have to really good with the data analysis, you have to really good with the ML. So once you have this thing, because then after you will get to work in the, whenever you will work in the company, so you will get to work in the virtual environment sector. How you have to be really good with the Linux operating system, because mainly we are going to work on that. This tool you have to be focused. There are mainly type of editor we are going to use. You have to very good with the Python editor. It's but for the Python or training the deep learning model, mainly we are going to use like Anaconda, Jupyter, or you can even say Spider. This type of things you have to just really practice for that. And if you want to build some APIs, then you can use the PyCharm ID, that is PyCharm ID you can use, or Sublime Text you can use. These are basically the flow you are going to do. It's not like you have to just stick with the particular thing. It's upon your interest. There are many tools that has been developed for the AI, machine learning, and for the deep learning. So this I can just say, if you want to go with the really I can just say, if you really want to start a career as an ML engineer, so this is the flow I can play in the short term. I can just say Python, then move to the data analysis, then move to the machine learning, then move to the deep learning. That is the flow of what AI engineers will be. That's from my side.
That is very true, sir. We now understand how important this is for us. Our next question for you is, if one doesn't have any idea on how to code or do programming, but still wishes to pursue data science as a career, what will be your advice for that person? Can one still succeed in this field?
Uh, See, this question is only can be answered by themselves only, because if they have interest, because you can't say that if the person is from the non-technical background, whether it is from the law background or anything that's not a technical background, or if it is he or she must like he may be mechanical engineer, you can just say. So it's not compulsory that you are just going to switch your career as a data scientist or an ML engineer. You can do, it's up to your interest. With if you think that I have capability of to learn this thing to develop for our you can just take a like a machine learning or whatever in the Python. Because first of all, if you are going to jump from non-technical to technical, you will get a struggle in the Python, because once you are really good with the Python, it will be like all the things are related to the theoretical and research things, because you have to be really good with the Python. Even my one or two friend, she was from the law background, but she just switches to the data scientist. So it's really it's 100%, it depends upon your interest. She take a time, she take 1 year to move from non-technical background to technical background, and she's really doing good job in the USA. So it's not about I can just say that it's upon your interest. If you are really means you have really you can just say no, like if you really want to switch your career from any ML engineer or data scientist engineer, you can easily go with that. But it's totally depends upon your interest, how much time you can give, because AI and ML is this type of technology where you have to invest every day per day. Because once you are if you are not touched for the 4 months or 3 months, you will lose, because every day there is something improvement in the AI technology. You have to keep update. We have to read every day, some new research has become, some new technology has become in AI, because there is lots of happening nowadays in AI everything. Even you can just think any technology, they are just going to merge with the AI. So that's I can just say it's depend upon them, then whether they are going to interest. But yes, they can just use, and there is no problem with that. If there is something non-technical, so there will be problems. No one is going to take the or hire you. It is not a problem. Even in our company, I just saw someone is from the mechanical and he is like a senior technical machine learning, you can just say. So it's not from my side, I can say it's not. It's totally depends upon your interest, your hard work, how much you can just give.
Moving ahead, Maitri Jain would like to know which model of machine learning is the most efficient one and why.
See, in machine learning, you can't stick with the one model which is going to be very good for now. Because see, in the machine learning, there are two type of sector we are mainly working. One is basically a computer vision sector, where we are just working on object detection model, object tracking model, or even you can just take a real world example of self-driving car or any robotic field. And the second part is going to work with the sequence of data related to the weather. If you heard about the Alexa and all the things, NLP part or time series, you can just say. So these two are going to split in the deep learning, and one will be basically your computer vision sector, and another will be basically your NLP sector, like a sequence of a data, whether you are going to work with the time series or whether you are going to work with the you can say chatbot, AI chatbot, everything. So see, the model, I can say which model is going to best, you don't know, because if you have capacity to prepare that particular model, you are giving a higher accuracy from that previous, then you can just publish your research. It is open source. AI is now a open source. Whatever you have idea, you can share. You can just publish your own research paper if you are getting higher accuracy than of any other model. Because currently I'm just working on AI super resolution, I already said. So there already a model is there in there, but our Sony, they are just trying to get more accuracy what the research already has been done. So we are just fine tuning the model, we are just training our model again. We are going to do whatever we can do the research on that, whatever we can do the change on that. So there are various type of CNN model we are going to work. So even I'm going to say like resonate this all thing. So it may sound like it may be like higher for now. So that's why I'm making so much simple. Like you can just say it's up to you which model is giving good accuracy. It depends upon what project you are going to work for, the CNN or whether it is a ANN. Like CNN is a convolution neural network which work on the computer vision mainly, and RNA is a recurrent neural network that's work on the sequence of data or NLP part. So it's up to you for whatever I can just say for now. It depends upon your projects.
Moving on to the next question, from Google and Amazon to Apple and Microsoft. Every major tech company is dedicating resources to breakthroughs in artificial intelligence. So what are your views on this? And also, how similar artificial intelligence and machine learning are to each other?
See, whenever you are going to compare the AI and machine learning, so it's like you can just say a technology is a world where a machine learning is a part of AI. So AI, machine learning is a subset of AI. And in then after, if you heard about the deep learning, so even many of them, they are going to confuse what the machine learning engineer, what the deep learning. So indirectly, deep learning is a subset of machine learning, and machine learning is a subset of AI. So AI is a whole new technology where it basically solves the whatever humans, if you can just say like self-driving car or whatever that requires the human effort. So that AI is taking a part, where machine learning has the different type of models where you can just train your model for the different tasks for the AI. So the AI is a huge, like for the, if you can take a real world example of self-driving car. So it's not only in the self-driving car, you are just putting only one model. You have the computer vision model, you have the reinforcement model, you have the NLP model also. So these three are basically, you can just say for now, are machine learning model, and the whole self-driving car is a AI technology. So AI technology is really where machine learning is helping, like you are just training your model for this every subtask to just create one AI model for that. So this is how even now every company like Google, whether it is a Facebook or whether it is a Microsoft, everyone is going to focus on the AI, and they are just bringing some new technology. Even you can't even imagine what type of technology or what type of research they are going to work, and they are just going to target to complete in 2030, 2040. That much of long duration project in going on nowadays. So you can just say AI is like really huge demand nowadays, and I can just say that's all I can just say about this AI and machine learning stuff. Like you can have, you don't be confused, like AI and ML is really similar, because AI is a technology where ML is a part to train the different model of the AI. You can just say this one.
Well, that was quite insightful, sir. You have also worked on mass detection during COVID times. According to you, how much fruitful has machine learning proved in medical field?
See, about the face mask detection, I just working for as a my personal project in doing the first COVID phase. So my intention was that to develop something face mask to model that can able to detect the faces, whether the particular person is going to wear a face mask or not. That was my intention. So if you are going to see nowadays, no, so even it is there in the our company also. Like you can just put a camera, you can just train your model, and you can put all the things into camera, so that camera can able to capture whether that particular person is wearing a face mask or not. So if nowadays every company, they if you already know that from June and May only they have started, from office. Okay, so they had just mentioned one condition that every particular person should wear the mask. So how we already, they have placed the camera, they have just deployed that model to that particular camera, and that camera is able to just capture that particular image, and they are going to put on that particular side by side, they have put the LED. So but when particular, you can just say, when particular person is not wearing the mask, his face is appearing on the LED, and also, and the alarm is going to pop up. So this is really a small example I explained you. Even in the public sector, you can just say, even in the malls and many public, you can just say about the place, you can just say, so where the face mask is really compulsory. So the camera is automatic detecting whether the person is wearing the mask or not, and then suddenly the alarm is going to pop up. If it is going to be give a red signal when the person is not wearing the mask, so that they can just give the warning that please wear the mask. And side by side, I was just working on the likes, you can just say, sorry, so side by side I was just also working on, you have to just be like, we already know that during the COVID time we have the face mask detection, also we have distance, we have to just follow one hand at least distance, so that we can just really the virus can't be transferred, you can just dissolve thing. So this type of thing we have, it's one technology that face mask I have just implemented, and I have to just put on the some this that SI like Smart India Hackathon, I was just going to participate on that. On that model, I have just deployed this face mask detection. So to build a smart city, if you are just going to travel in the bus, you have to wear the mask, and suddenly you have to follow the social distance detection. This all thing I'm just going to implement in the one part. So face mask was really interesting. It was not really too much hard, but it was really interesting. Yeah.
So now moving on to our next question. As we know, balance is a must in this fast-growing environment. So how do you manage pressure and stress that comes along with the work?
See, this is really for everyone. I'm saying this is really a good. You have to just balance your work. Whatever you are, you have to not take too much stress. You can just say, because nowadays, so it's up to you how much you are taking that stress. Because company also, they are giving a so much high technology task. So in that you have to give total 8 hours or 9 hours. So for me, I'm just managing, because it's see, first of all, you will have given the short times. Like I can just take example, like in the 7 days you have to deliver some projects, and it's like, if you are not really clear what the clients has expectation and what you are doing, if you are just miscommunication in that, and suddenly in the last day before you are just saying some major change, and your model is not giving a good accuracy of that, so at that time what you're going to feel, you are going to feel so much stress on that. So you have to just be like, you have to be really clear what the client expectation is.
Yes.
Part is that whenever you are working on high demand projects of AI, don't do any multitasking. Like if you are doing going in AI also, and if you are doing something that's related to the Java or C++, so that indirectly make a huge stress to your mind. So I'm just saying, for now, like, you have to be, for now you have to be really clear what, in, if for the suggestion in the company, if you have to be really clear what the clients they want, what the expectation from the clients they want, and you have to clear with that idea, so that you can just follow that path. So it will be really, you can keep update per day. So you can't give to the last day that I will just share everything, that whatever I have just developed the model in the last day, and suddenly the clients they want. So they see, in once a month, one and twice, I also go with that stress. But you have to just handle that stress, this thing. Because for now I'm just going to practice, like I have to be per day, I have to be really clear what the client expectation, what you have to just take, like you can just think to until tomorrow what percentage I have to complete the project, and this all thing you have to just be clear in every step. Second thing, you don't do any multitasking. Like I just said, if you are working on some hard projects, that's why you are getting so much stress, and side by side you are working on some other projects, so that will be really affect for your health also. And the third one is regular take the break. If you are going to stuck in some problem, like 1 hour 2 hour, like, and then after again you are going to do same as it is, take some break, give your time to your brain, then again you start with this. So this 3 point is really important. Like stress maintenance is really important in the IT field, because the everything is that you are using your brain, you are not copying and pasting any coding from anywhere. You have to just use your brain. You have to just think whatever is the new technology, because that is not even discovered in entire world. That's what, if you're working on good company, so they are going to develop some, like even AI super resolution I'm working on, that is not even published yet, but you have to just use something different so that it can give you good accuracy than of the rest of the model. So this is what I can just say from my side.
That's quite motivating, sir. It is very important to manage the stress and pressure that comes along with work. Thank you for providing us with some tips to cope up with it. We
Mhm.
also have one question from Vishnu Deshmukh. After watching Sony, the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, I was amazed by the graphics and wondered how working in Sony will be. Sir, we were excited too. If yes, can you please tell us how Sony works on the graphics?
See, about the graphic, they mainly I'm an ML engineer, I can say, but I know about the graphics, how they works about this thing. So mainly they have another, you can just say, unit for that. So that is already research, and this whole thing is going on the Sony company for that to works on the graphic. Because if you see about the Spider-Man, this whole movie, that is going to be present by the Sony particular Sony company. You can just say Sony technology. So this mainly I can just say I'm really not going deep about the how the graphic is going to be created on that, because my main part in the ML is basically you have to be stick with the ML model and this deep learning model, because for the graphic model you have to another team. So if I'm going with another team, I'm taking the space in my mind. So I can just say I will just do research on this and I will get back to you about this question.
Okay, here comes the last question for you. What advice would you like to give to our beginners?
See, thing the first I will just give you advice to the beginner is that if you are really your interest is going with the machine learning or iOS developer, Java developer, it's whatever is the new technology you want to go, you can just switch to that particular technology, but stick to one technology. Because I can just give the example of machine learning. Even for machine learning, if you want to start a career as a machine learning, you have to be really good with the basic terminology. Like if you have to just start with the coding part, you have to really good with the coding part, because now if you are in the third year, fourth year, if you are going to give the interview for the some MNC company, so you have the coding round on that. You will ask the some data structure question, you will have the, and you have to use the Python coding, C++ coding, any one programming, you should be really 100% on that. Okay, so that is basically a Python coding. If you are going to work with the machine learning, just stick with the Python coding. You have to be really good with the Python. Then after I can just go with that. If your really basic is really strong, then you can just even go with the more further advanced. Because now ever I'm just saying those who are just fresher, they are really good with the advanced technology, but they lacks on the basics. I don't know why they are going to lack on the basic, because basic is really important where you are not getting anything, but you know the advanced thing. So that does not make any sense. You don't know, say simple, I can say, you don't know how to run the program, but you know how to write the code. So you have to be really good with the all the basics terminology, then move to the any advanced. Because nowadays everyone's wants that I am doing this much high project, I'm doing this much high project. For the fresher I'm just saying, but they don't know really basics how to write the coding of that. So you have to be really strong with the Python coding, then move for the, I'm just saying about the machine learning, then move to the data analysis field, where you are going to analyze your data, how the CSV file, different type of version of the file is there, TSV file, CSV file, and you have to really good with how to handle this particular, you have to handle with the data analysis of data warehouse, how to handle with the unknown values and this all thing, analyzing of the data. So once you are really good and you have high capture on the data, then you can just finally go for the machine learning model. You will have the 10 to 12 algorithm on that. You should just be really good with the mathematics term. Once you are really good in the theoretical term, you will be automatic, you are going to good in the coding terms. So if indirectly many of them, if we are just training any model, directly we are going to write the code without understanding what's how the model is training, how the backend is going to work. We don't, many of the for the fresher they don't know, but they know how to write the code. Because you should be really good in the theoretical part, because whenever you are going to work on R&D, how I'm just working on R&D sector, you have to be really, you are doing the research. In that research you have to be really good in the all the mathematics term, because in machine learning you will have lots of maths like partial derivative, calculus. You have your calculus will be really strong on that. So this, then after you can move to the deep learning technology, where you will cover all the ANN, CNN and NLP part, RNN part. So, and then after, if you are really interested in the cloud based AWS or Azure anything, So you can just finally switch to that. So this whole path is basically this AI path. This till now what I have explained. So only the main point is that just be really 100% clear with the basic. Automatic, your advanced level will be clear. That's what I can say.
So we also have one more question from Varat Kulkarni. Do you think will AI leverage in agriculture and medical domain in upcoming years?
Yeah, definitely. It's like you can just say more than 100 projects is going on the medical sector and also in the agriculture sector, because nowadays you already know that we already have so many technology is working on the IT sector, but they want to shift more towards the medical also. And also whatever I explain you about the medical, how we can improve our medical for the every patient so that it can be really helpful for the patients. And the second thing, agriculture sector is like how you can just deal with the damage of the crops, like when there will be chance of the you can just rain and this all thing. Even like in agriculture sector, I did not go much depth in the agriculture sector, but it is really interesting how you can just deal with pesticide and this all thing. We have to develop some chemical, how AI can just train on that chemical and detect that disease so that you can just put on that disease and it will not damage that crop. This is really a good project, because nowadays you are just seeing that farmer they are just they which type of disease it is for the crop they don't know, means, and you can just like you have 1000 disease for the crop, so how can person can remember about 1000? Then but you have, if you have a data, you can train an AI model that it will be really easy. Just capture the image of that particular crop and it will automatically is going to say what particular disease that particular crop has. So this I can just say is really, it will be really improving the agriculture sector. Nowadays the mostly in India and Japan, they are going to focus on the agriculture sector from the next year, I think. So many projects is there in this one, because already the much project already deal with the automobiles and tech IT sector, it already is doing with the AI. So I just say AI is going to be do with every other technology. It will just it will going to be work with every other technology, whether it can be any sector, and with up to agriculture sector, automobiles, or whether medical or anything, it will be there AI.
All right, with this, we end our question answer session. It was indeed a delight talking to you, sir. Your enthusiasm was distinct and your presence left a mark of motivation to the young minds. One always needs some advice and guidance to pave their way to success, and you really helped us make a step. We were pleased to have you today and we would highly acknowledge having you again with us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you everyone. Thank you.